Hello, this is Zach with a podcast named Tim, and this is Tales from a Space Dumpster, where I review episodes of Power Rangers and, more importantly, rate the monsters of the week with a one-of-a-kind monster rating system. It's a system that has five categories that we look at. Basically, in each category, you can get a 1 to a 5 being the best in that category, and we add it up and see who the best monster is. 25 is the max you can score, of course, 5 times 5. And the categories are look of the monster, the powers, the plan, the success, the voice of the monster. So that's exactly what we're looking at. Today's episode is a pressing engagement, which is from season 1, episode 4 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But before we get into the episode review and rating King Sphinx, which is the monster of the week, please do like this video, subscribe, share it, all that good stuff. You know how YouTube works. Just gotta pump up those numbers, obviously, and we appreciate the support. So this episode starts at Ernie's juice bar, as many do, of course, and Jason is going for the bench press record, which is currently held by Bulk. Unfortunately, Ernie forgets at around 1,000 or something because it's kids' television, and then after that, they recount again. So Jason's pretty worn down at this point. He's done 2,000 reps at the bench press, and Rita has a good plan today. And again, the plan is one of the categories we're looking at. So what is the plan? The plan is to separate Jason, who's one, the leader, and two, is the, he's been weakened by this bench press contest. So hopefully, because of these two factors, this is a good plan. I think so. I gave 4 for plan. And in order to do that, she suggests or makes Finster makes King Sphinx. And basically, it's a good-looking monster. I have it 4 out of 5, and he is very Egyptian style, obviously, with Sphinx. He has these wings. I always like the monsters that have a good mix of kind of humanoid qualities and monster or animal qualities. I don't like them to be too much one or the other, and I thought this was a really good mix. And then Egyptian stuff is really cool, just in general, so maybe a personal preference there. But I thought it was just well designed, some intricate stuff going on. So she sends him out with the specific purpose of basically sending off the other Rangers, isolating Jason, and taking him out. Good plan. Basically, Jason is concerned about being viewed as a quitter, and before he can complete the bench press situation and try it again, the monster attacks. He's in the children's park, King Sphinx and the putties, and they show up. He immediately starts waving his wings, which is one of his powers. It's that and a laser beam or a power beam, energy beam, whatever you want to call it, which is obviously kind of the standard power for most Power Ranger monsters. If you don't have an energy beam of some sort, that's how you get a 1 in that category. So I gave him a 3 for powers because he's got the double combination there. And again, the wings, the flap, when they flap, they basically shoot the other Power Rangers away. It transports them to another place. So it's fitting with the theme of what she wants to do. She created a specific monster in order to achieve her goal. So I like that. Good synergy, good planning. The funny thing is when she uses, or when the King Sphinx uses this power, it transports Kimberly and Zach back to the juice bar. And what's weird is they land right in the middle of the whole action where the bar is happening, and no one notices. They show up, transport. Normally they go to that little side room where the lockers are to teleport because they don't want to be seen, but somehow no one notices that they just show up out of nowhere. So thought that was interesting, but plan is working. The plan is we're getting there. The plan was to isolate Jason. Step 1 taken care of. Now, of course, now you got to take Jason out, which shouldn't be hard because he's done 2,000 bench presses, and Goldar shows up to help. So you've got King Sphinx and the number 1 guy underneath Rita. They're both fighting Jason, and they can't. It doesn't work. How do you have both of them? And in fact, they become gigantic. You have little Jason and 2 gigantic monsters, and somehow they can't take out Jason. That's one of the reasons, besides the fact that the idea of the plan was executed, gotta knock off a lot of points, because not only did he have help, King Sphinx that is, but from Goldar, you couldn't get the job done against one tired ranger, and you had the number 2 guy helping. So I gave him a 2 for success in the rating, 3 for voice. Nothing bad, just solid, fit the character and everything. So, but what's funny about this is the Power Rangers, when Zach and Zach and Kimberly arrive back at the juice bar, they run all the way to Billy's house, and I didn't hear them explain why they did that instead of just using their communicators that they have. But it just prolongs the episode for no reason, because in theory they could have just used their communicator. Hey, this is what's going down. Come help us out, and they could have immediately teleported out, to the command center, and then to help out Jason. So it's kind of weird that there's just this lag in time for no reason, where he's just by himself. They weren't sent to another vortex or trapped or anything like that. They're just literally running around town instead of using their communicators or teleporting back. But maybe I missed it, but if I did, let me know in the comments below. But either way, they finally show up. Of course, once they show up, they make easy work. But the way they do this is interesting. They have their power crystals, and Zordon teleports their power crystals to Jason, who then throws them like little darts. And then when he throws them in the air, they like explode. And then the Power Rangers show up. I don't know why we had to do this weird teleporting thing. Obviously, it's because whatever they did in the Super Sentai Zyuranger, but don't know why that was done here. So kind of weird. But once they show up, of course, you know what happens. The bad guys are defeated. The Power Rangers win. And of course, in the end, Jason succeeds. He becomes the new record holder of the bench press record. So kind of a weird episode in that there's just the bad guys could have easily been defeated had the earlier on, had the Power Rangers just used their communicator or teleported back, or Zordon would have got a hold of Billy and them to let them know what was going on. So that was kind of weird, and just very disappointing from King Sphinx. It's kind of a Bone situation where you had this really cool looking monster, cool powers, although his powers weren't as cool as Bone's, but really cool looking monster, and he just fails. He has all this help. There's him and Goldar trying to take out Jason, and he's done this 2,000 bench presses, and which I'm sure, and I'd love to see what that equates to in non-kid TV shows as far as what they thought would tire out someone. But the point is, they still weren't able to get the job done. So overall, King Sphinx, I gave him 16 as a total ranking, and again, that's 4 for look, 4 for the plan, 3 for the powers, 2 for success, and 3 for voice. So if my math adds up, hopefully it does, because if not, that'd be very silly. Yeah, just not very disappointing. Decent episode, but would have liked to see a little bit more success from King Sphinx, especially with how cool he looked, and with the plan being, again, take out the leader, especially when he's weak. But let me know what you think about King Sphinx. Did I rate him properly? How would you have rated him, especially in each category? And do you think this is a good episode of Power Rangers? Again, thank you for checking out this video. We'll see you next time on Tales from a Space Dumpster. Please, again, subscribe, notify bell, all that good stuff. And check out some other videos that we have. We also, I did neglect to mention earlier, we do have a podcast where we do weekly, my dad and I do weekly movie reviews, and we do a whole bunch of different types of movies. So check that out as well. All the links will be in the description below. Thank you for checking this episode, and we'll see you next week.